Good morning, and thank you for watching the City of Janesville COVID-19 community briefing for March 26th. This briefing is provided Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. My name is Dwayne Sherrick, and I am the Planning Section Chief for this operational period. We'll begin this morning with a review of our incident objectives. First, safeguard the community, including our residents, businesses, and visitors. Second, deter the spread of COVID-19 within our capabilities. Third, provide essential services to the community. And fourth, safeguard City of Janesville employees and preserve our city service power. Now we'll hear from other members of our EOC leadership team, beginning with Operations Section Chief Cameron Nash.
Good morning, Cameron Nash, Operations Section Chief. The EOC is currently maintaining a Level 2 activation in which certain non-essential services and functions have been reduced. Since the last operational period, no additional reductions have been implemented. Currently, each city department, division, and office is performing essential services and functions with sufficient staffing. Thank you.
Thank you, Cameron. Now we'll hear from Situation Unit Leader Maggie Dar.
Thank you, Dwayne. Good morning. Situation Unit Leader for this event, Maggie Dar. As of yesterday, the Wisconsin Department of Health Services reported that there were 585 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the state. And according to the county during a conference call yesterday afternoon, Rock County has 6 positive tests. The county also, as of yesterday, had received 295 negative test results. The city continues to closely monitor our staffing levels. That supports our objectives of ensuring we can continue to provide essential services and allows us to respond and adapt as the situation may progress. As of yesterday, nearly 13% of our employees were working remotely. Obviously, we have a lot of functions in the city that is not an option for. We're also closely monitoring our levels of personal protective equipment, or PPE. I have no new changes to city services, but I do just want to note that JTS, our bus system, is getting a lot of calls asking if they're still running, and the answer is yes. And when they give that answer, they get a big sigh of relief on the other side of the phone. Many in our community are still relying on that service, and JTS is taking strategies to reduce contact, and also they've increased their cleaning protocols. But we want to thank our bus drivers and the other folks at Transit who continue to provide this critical service for many. We monitor the weather every day. There's rain in the forecast, but we don't have any flooding concerns, and we have no major concerns with infrastructure in the community. We're also working with our partners right now to plan for potential surge shelters for the hospitals. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie. Now we'll hear from City Clerk Treasurer Dave Godak.
Thank you, Dwayne. Good morning, Dave Godak, City Clerk Treasurer. I just want to remind the community that we're encouraging everybody to vote absentee. That is going to prevent you from having to go to the polling place. You can still request an absentee ballot be mailed to you by going to www.myvote.wi.gov. Additionally, you can come to City Hall to the first floor and do an absentee ballot in person. However, we would encourage you to do mail-in voting. Additionally, we've made the decision to consolidate polling places, so we won't have 10 polling places throughout the city. If you vote at the following polling places, you're going to be moved to the old Sears building, New Life Assembly of God, the Church of Latter-day Saints, St. Mark's Church, First Lutheran Church, and Blaine Supplies Training Center. You're going to vote at the old Sears building at 2500 Milton Avenue. Part of the reason that the city made this decision was those 5 polling places are approximately 36,000 square feet. The Sears building is 65,000 square feet. It's going to give us the ability to enforce better social distancing. Individuals that vote at the Job Center, Mount Calvary Church, or Faith Lutheran Church are going to all vote at the Job Center for this election. And then folks who vote at the library will continue to vote at the library, and people who vote here at City Hall will continue to vote at City Hall. Some of the things that we're going to do at these facilities to ensure your safety is we're going to place boxes on the floor with an X in the middle that would indicate where you should stand until the next time you come, as you move through lines. We're going to keep our polling booths 6 feet apart. We're encouraging all voters who decide to appear in person to bring their own pens to use throughout the process of voting. And hand sanitizer is going to be available at the polling places, both upon entry and exit. We would encourage people to use that. Again, we'd encourage everybody to vote absentee. That's going to help to maintain the governor's Safer at Home initiative. But if you do decide to go to the polling place, we will have protocols to help ensure your safety. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Next is Finance and Administration Section Chief Tara Semenchuk.
Good morning, Tara Semenchuk, Finance and Administration Section Chief. The EOC response team has logged 1,839 hours to date. We have captured expenditures of $101,027. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Now we'll hear from Safety Officer Battalion Chief Ryan Murphy.
Good morning, Ryan Murphy, Safety Officer. We want to continue to emphasize washing your hands often with soap and water, especially after you have been in a public place. If soap and water is not readily available, use hand sanitizer that contains at least 60% alcohol. Avoid touching your ears, nose, and mouth with unwashed hands. We should avoid close contact with people who are sick and create space between each other, at least 6 foot distancing. Formulate a plan if someone in your household becomes sick. Workplaces and residences should be thoroughly cleaned daily with EPA-approved cleaners. High-touch surfaces should be cleaned more frequently. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Now we'll hear from Incident Commander Chief Ernie Rhodes.
Hi, good morning, Janesville. Ernie Rhodes, Incident Commander for the COVID-19 response event. As Maggie stated earlier, there are now 6 cases of the virus in Rock County. And so what does this mean? It means that the contagion continues to spread throughout the community. And if you look on some of the models that, for instance, John Hopkins mapping model on the internet, you'll see the curve for the United States, which is basically almost vertical as far as the growth of the virus. This is concerning, and so it's really important to tell you that there is no medication for this virus. There are no vaccines. The best tool that we have is separating from each other or social distancing. Please stay home. Please stay home. And another recommendation is if you're going to go to the store and buy food, if you buy for 2 days, 3 days, can you buy for 6? Can you buy for a week? Can you buy for 2 weeks? And try to increase that cycle or that frequency of going into a store for your food. Let me explain a little bit on what's going on in the city as far as the Emergency Operations Center is concerned. As you may have heard me say before, we are using the Incident Command System. And what does that mean? We every day establish objectives to respond to this event. And based on those objectives, we assign resources to those objectives, and people and or equipment that is assigned to those objectives know where they're going to work, what they're going to do, who their boss is, how do they talk to their boss, and then if there's a medical emergency, how they get aid. We do that planning process every day. Every day we have a planning schedule, and so once we establish objectives, we establish the tactics to achieve those objectives, and then we build a plan around that to execute that plan. So that goes on every day. So in case you're wondering why we have an Emergency Operations Center, it is to coordinate all city departments for providing essential services, and also in the event that the virus would get firmly established in our community and we had to do some response actions. Please call 608-373-6027. That's 608-373-6027. That is our community helpline or hotline. If you need help with food, medication, or just have a question, please give us a call. We'll get you that information. We'll get you that answer. I really like what I'm seeing in the community. I do see social distancing going on. I'm proud of everybody. Keep up the good work. And it's Thursday. We're 1 day away from Friday. So have a great day.
Thank you, Chief Rhodes. Our final brief this morning will be provided by Janesville City Manager Mark Freitag.
Thanks, Dwayne, and good morning, everybody, to our EOC team members, to our city employees that are listening, and to anybody in the community that's listening. Yesterday, I talked a little bit about the governor's Safer at Home initiative, and I reminded everybody it's in order. There are certainly exceptions to the rule, but it's in order, and so please follow that order. But I did want to share with you a tweet that came out yesterday from Secretary-designee Palm here at Wisconsin DHS. And this came out yesterday, but it gives you a reason why this Safer at Home order was so important. And the tweet reads, "On our current path without implementing Safer at Home to flatten that curve, models show that we would likely have 22,000 Wisconsinites who are positive for COVID-19 by April 8th, and an estimated 440 to 1.5 thousand deaths." And so that's an important perspective, that this is, again, it's an effort to reduce those numbers and to flatten that curve so that we don't have, mass numbers of people infected, mass numbers of deaths. So please take those words and those requirements that are outlined in Emergency Order Number 12 to heart, because they're important for our health and safety of our city, our county, our state, certainly our nation. The other thing I'd like to talk about is yesterday we did declare the city's state of emergency. We issued that 1 o'clock yesterday. It went out via press release. It's available online if anybody wants to read the proclamation. We really did that from an administrative perspective to make sure that those PPE, personal protective equipment, and supply requests that we were pushing forward were backed up and validated by a state of emergency declaration. We thought that that would add additional weight to our requests. Interestingly, we put that forward, and then we got word later in the afternoon that our numbers of confirmed cases here in Rock County had doubled from 3 to 6 over the course of the day. And so maybe that timing was pretty good, but the numbers are going to continue to increase, and so we need to do everything in our power to make sure that we flatten that curve. So please adhere to the requirements that are outlined in Emergency Order Number 12. The last thing that I want to share with, certainly the community, because I know we have a lot of community members that are listening in, and that is people have asked why we keep repeating things during our operational briefs in the morning. And I would tell you that, it's really important. If you hear a theme or a message repeated on a daily basis inside our operational brief, it's because it's really important. And so when the safety officer talks about hand washing and social distancing and using sanitizer and wiping down touch surfaces, that's because that's important. That's how you beat coronavirus and COVID-19. So, we're going to reinforce those kinds of things. When the chief talks about, giving everybody a little bit of grace, and don't let petty things get in the way of doing your job or, working within your family unit, give everybody a little bit of grace. That's important in times of crisis. And so you're going to continue to hear certain themes and messages as we continue these briefings. They're important because they're the keys to success to working through this over time. And so I would encourage the community, if you're listening, to share the fact that we're doing this operational update each and every morning at 8:30 with your contacts, with your networks. There are a lot of people out there that have no idea that we're doing these. We'd like to see this become the thing everybody tunes into every morning at 8:30 to kind of get a perspective on what's going on in the community. But please share this link and let folks know that this is an available resource to keep the community informed, because we want to provide you accurate, timely information concerning the city's response to COVID-19. That's all I have. Thanks, Dwayne.
Thank you, Mark. This has been the City of Janesville COVID-19 Community Briefing for March 26th. The community briefing is provided each morning, Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Thank you for watching.